Hi, my name is Shelby. I did a learning target from Semester 2, Unit 4. My learning target is students will realize the impacts of technological and economic shifts of the decade. This learning target consists of the impact of TV, Martin Luther King's speech, Latinos and Native Americans, segregation between men and women, and finally, some people who had influenced segregation. The list of things that I just named off is what I will be talking to you about to explain my learning target to you. First, we have the impact of TV. TV played a huge role in this time period, just like it does today, because it shows people what was really going on in their everyday lives. Millions of people witnessed how blacks were treated unfair right from their living rooms. Soul force is the main term that connects to the impact of TV, because television shows how blacks didn't put up any fight. It shows how blacks let whites strike at them without any struggle or resistance. People started to realize how unfair this was to blacks, and their attitudes started to change on the way they viewed black lives. Next, we have Martin Luther King and his I Have a Dream speech. Everyone knows about Martin Luther King and his speech he gave at Lincoln Memorial. But do you know how he impacted people's lives? He was a massive influence on the way people looked at life, and he still affects people today. Dr. King fought for equal rights. He wanted everyone to be treated equal, but brought it to everyone's attention in a calm way so that people would listen and understand instead of freaking out. He gave examples of how it's unfair to treat blacks the way they are being treated, and after his speech, people looked at black lives differently. Rosa Parks is another example of how black lives were influenced. Separate but Equal played a major role in the Montgomery bus boycott, where people stopped riding the buses until they got equal rights. Then we have Latinos and Native Americans, who fought to gain political power and better education. UFWOC, the Brown Berets, Mexican American Political Association, and La Raza were all political organizations that pushed for more civil rights in different ways. A major part of segregation was between men and women. Men looked at women and didn't think much of them outside of the normal housewife look, because that was the traditional look and men were not ready for the big change that was about to happen. Men and women were segregated when it came to jobs by not being paid nearly as much as men, even if they did the same work. This is still seen today in some parts of the world. In Minnesota, there was a large difference in pay for members of Congress. In 2013, men earned $51,340 versus women who got paid $41,082. There used to be very limited jobs for women, unlike men, who could do whatever they wanted to do and get a good salary. The Civil Rights Act created the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which helped women gain more job opportunities and better pay. Women also weren't treated fairly in society, so they started rebelling. Many women didn't take their husbands' last names when they got married because it showed a sign of them staying themselves. Betty Friedman didn't agree with how society named women. Betty didn't think that all women needed the same things in life to be happy. Not all women needed a house in the suburbs, a husband, and a big family. She stood up for what she believed in and told people how she really felt. Finally, I will be talking about how some people impacted segregation. My first example is Morgan versus Virginia. A black woman whose name is Irene Morgan made sure that all segregation on interstate buses was stopped. Another example is Sweat versus Painter, which made sure that all graduate and law schools admitted all black applications. Last, we have Brown versus Board of Education, which struck down segregation in all schools, grades K through 12. that concludes my presentation on my learning target.